And welcome everybody to Goat Locker Racing's Original Rebels 100 from Texas Motor Speedway tonight. You got Pat and Jamie up here in the booth, and we got one hot track here this afternoon. 118-degree track temperature, so it's going to be hot and slick out here. But these truck drivers are ready for the challenge tonight, Jamie.
Absolutely. I don't have any X's in Texas, but I would like to get to Amarillo by morning. So hopefully these guys will keep it clean, and we'll have a good race here tonight.
I still, for the life of me, don't know where you come up with half of this stuff, Jamie. I know where the X's in Texas things come from. I'm not a big country music guy, but I'm gonna stick with you on this one.
George Strait.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Always here for me. Always here for me. So, but we've had some great racing all season long for the
Hold
inaugural.
on. Oh, sorry, Pat. Didn't mean to cut you off. We've got an issue with uh, someone saying they're disqualified.
Uh-oh. So,
Uh,
a little bit of an issue to start the race here. We'll get that all sorted out and make sure everybody gets to the grid here. So, as we look at what is possibly a technical issue here, we'll continue on and hopefully we'll get that sorted out and they'll be able to get on the grid. Do we know which one of our drivers it is, Jamie?
I think it was Mike Bertosa. But he's showing a time. He's showing a time of 3:30 seconds lap. So,
Well, hopefully he's able to take the grid as we've got the starting grid up this evening. We've got 67 laps tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Eddie Smith, who has just been absolutely dominant during the course of the season, is sitting on the pole yet once again. That number 25 tied truck with a time of 30.225 for JC Motorsports. To his outside, his teammate Jonah Colbert in that 88 truck. Starting third, again, another strong driver all season long, Trevor McManus, that number 9 Indy Autosport truck. Starting fourth is going to be Scott Sanderson in that number 93. Starting fifth is one of our brothers from down under, Scott Rankin in the Indy Autosports entry, number 49. Starting sixth, the other brother from down under, Jordan Malcolm, in that number 1 truck from B Speed. Starting seventh is Joe Yakes, our winner from Pocono last week. So he's probably looking to get that number 87 Indy Autosports truck back into victory lane. Starting eighth is the first Goat Locker entry this evening, Alex Cruz in that Gill Insurance Advisors number 5. Starting ninth is going to be Brock Wright in that 33 truck. Starting 10th is the other Goat Locker entry, Cody McElwain in that number 6 Jam Promotions entry. Starting 11th, go ahead.
Starting 11th, we got the 89 of Brandon Wallace. He's outside, starting 12th. Number 97, hopefully starting 12th, Mike Bertosa. Starting 13th, 00 of Anthony Radel. Starting 14th, number 24, Gregory Sherman. Starting 15th, number 64, Matt Nighties. Starting 16th, number 77, Mike Aribe. Starting 18th, number 23, first time out here with the Goat Locker Series, Davy Jones. And rounding out the field in the 19th spot, the number 45 of Brian Brogan.
As many people might see on our starting lineups and everything like that, no, Jamie's not in the race, but when he comes in here to call the race, he gets in there with the drivers, so it shows him as being a part of the race, but won't be behind the wheel of a truck this evening. Hopefully, at least once this season, we'll do a special broadcast where Jamie will be behind the wheel of a secondary Gill Insurance Advisors entry in his number 15 truck. But obviously not at Pocono, because we heard enough about that last time, Jamie.
That's right. That's right.
So
we're done with Pocono, so
we'll have to pick a race the second half of the season and get you behind the wheel of a truck and do a special broadcast, and I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I definitely miss being out there on the track with these guys, but we got to do what we got to do, pay the bills around here. So, you know, I'll just watch them instead.
They always put on a great show. Go ahead.
I do see Mike Bertosa is out on the track, so maybe he was disqualified from his second lap of qualifying. Not sure what was going on there, but he's definitely not kicked out of the race, so that's good. And can move forward here as this pace truck should be getting ready to make a left-hand turn on the pit road.
We will get underway here at Texas Motor Speedway for what should be some great side-by-side racing all night long, and that green flag is out, and they are off and racing. 67 laps tonight in the original Rebels Racing 100. Eddie Smith off to a good start, gets that low line, but the 88 truck hanging tough to his tailgate, and now Trevor McManus gets underneath the 88 to try to get up here and challenge Eddie Smith for the lead.
Yeah, Trevor's not going to want to waste any time. He knows Eddie Smith has been strong in every race we've run so far this season. He's going to want to try to get out front as quickly as he can.
Yeah, Eddie has proven it week in and week out. If he's got the lead, he tends to hang on to it, tends to check out there a little bit. So I'd have to think a lot of these drivers have been talking about that, how to get up front and get in front of that number 25 truck. It looked like Trevor got in a little hot into one, pushed up, and now that 88 truck of Jonah Colbert's underneath him for second place.
Yeah, good tight battle here for second between Trevor and Jonah. That's letting Eddie scoot away a little bit here while they fight for this second place position.
As the field is starting to get a little single file, we've got some side-by-side racing back to the field as Jonah Colbert continues to try to complete the pass on Trevor McManus, as that number 25 truck is now checked out to about a 0.4 of a second lead. And so we'll have to see if his teammate Jonah's got anything for him.
Trevor looked like he was going to try to make a move to the inside of Jonah Colbert there. I guess he didn't want to let go of second place for very long.
And as we look back through the field, we've got a couple guys coming up through the field right now. Cody McElwain in the number 6 Jam Promotions truck is up 3 positions from where he started. So he didn't get a whole lot of practice time, had a little bit of technical difficulties getting into the race and getting that truck to pass inspection. We'll call it that. And only got a few practice laps and, of course, qualified the truck. But I think as the race goes on, we're going to see those goat locker entries of Alex Cruz and Cody McElwain make their way to the front.
So the lead is tightened up a little bit, or the race for the lead. Jonah Colbert has closed in, and he's brought Trevor McManus right along with him. They've kind of separated, top three have separated themselves a little bit from the rest of the field. But that seems to happen a lot in these trucks. The top three will run nose to tail, and it doesn't really seem to matter who's up there. That they can run close together, and it just kind of separates from everybody else. I don't know if it's the aero effects or what that causes that, but we've seen it several times now where the top three just really seem to dominate.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jamie. I never would have thought that these trucks were so aero dependent, or how big of a hole they punch in the air as they go down the track. But the way the air flows off these trucks, especially with the flat beds across the back there, being in somebody's wake is often where you want to be and be able to draft up a little bit. And so it kind of keeps the fields a little bit tighter. I think that's why a lot of drivers love running these trucks. They provide for some very exciting racing and some very tight racing.
Yes, as Trevor McManus got a run on the outside of Jonah Colbert coming down the front stretch, but Jonah was able to hold him off as they made it their way through 1 and 2. And now Trevor is, he's going to try the inside this time. He's just not going to be content to run behind Jonah.
No, I have never known Trevor to be content and just sit. He is always on the move. Oh, I won't say that he's aggressive, but he is always on the move, and he's always wanted to put that truck out front. So you got to love his competitive spirit for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
As we go back to our 4th place truck of Scott Sanderson in the number 93 truck. Good-looking truck. Like the paint scheme he's got on it. And from what I can see right now, it looks like he's just kind of biding his time and watching what these top three do. We'll go back and take a look at Scott Rankin right now in that number 49 truck. Having himself a pretty good night thus far. Sitting back in 5th position, exactly where he started. Joe Yates, our winner from last week in that Indy Autosport truck there. Having himself a good solid night, up 1 position from where he started.
We have just had a change in the lead. Trevor McManus has taken that 9 truck to the point and brought Jonah Colbert right along with him. Don't know if maybe Eddie Smith used up his tires here in the early going, but he is falling back and is under fire from Scott Sanderson, who's looking to move up into the top 3.
We'll go back and take a look at that pass for the lead here. Trevor McManus gets a heck of a run coming through the trial, sends it in deep into turn 1, and clears Eddie Smith with no issues there. So great racing going on up front right now. And we've got 3 new trucks up at the front, as now Eddie Smith has fallen back to 4th place. We are coming around to complete 11 laps of our scheduled 67 here this evening in the original Rebels Racing 100. And just some awesome racing so far, Jamie. You know, we've had a couple races where we get those early cautions, and then we get some green flag runs, but these drivers now are 4 races into racing each other, and I really think they're starting to understand each other, and we're having some just outstanding racing.
Yes, and you know, even last week we probably had more cautions in last week's race and the other races combined, but it was still really good racing up until that point. But these guys have done a great job all season long to this point of keeping these races clean and really running a lot of green flag laps.
Yeah, it has been awesome to be a part of. It's been awesome to call these races. We're never at a lack of anything to talk about when these guys are out on the track. And so oftentimes the races go by so fast we didn't know what happened because there aren't cautions. These guys are out there just racing really clean with a lot of respect for each other. So great racing and this evening so far from Texas. So we'll kind of continue to poke back through the field here as our top 4. Oh, as Trevor McManus gets up into the wall. Heavy right side damage and is now going to find himself falling back into 3rd place.
He's in 4th place now, Eddie Smith. He blew right by him. We'll see if he's able to keep up the pace here with that damage, or is he going to fall to give a spot up to his teammate? Actually, he's got two teammates coming up behind him, Scott Rankin and Joe Yakes. So we'll see.
I tell you, Jamie, the right side of that truck is all kinds of tore up. So hopefully he'll be able to keep that truck there, but I'd have to imagine that's going to pick up a pretty significant push, and he's going to start chewing up some tires. Tough break there, tough break. He is now coming under fire from Scott Rankin, who is pulled up to his tailgate. So I would imagine that Scott will make quick work of him down here in 1 and 2.
I'm sure he'll probably let Scott go. Well, you know, who knows?
Well, we've definitely seen those Indy Autosports guys battle with each other quite a bit.
Yeah, they are teammates, but when they're on the track, they don't seem to give each other too much of any room or any concessions, I'll say.
Well, as we continue to see Cody McElwain move up through the field, he has now gotten that Jam promotion truck up to 5th place. So again, all he needed was a little more time on the track to get a feel for what was going on, and he is making his way to the front. Oh, it looked like Cody pushed up there a little bit, and Trevor decided to make a crossover move, but Cody's hanging tough on his outside, so we'll have to see how this battle continues on. Great side-by-side battle, and that has actually brought Joe Yakes up into this, so we've got a 3-truck battle back here for 5th place. Cody McElwain gets himself clear. Should be able to pull away as now Trevor McManus is going to come under fire from yet another teammate of Joe Yakes in that 87 truck. Joe easily makes the pass to the outside. And now Trevor finds himself back in 7th position. Take a look back at our 8th place truck, that 33 truck with Brock Wright. Cool looking truck, Nickelodeon truck. He always comes out with some really cool paint schemes, and I've really dug this one, Jamie.
Yeah, it looks good. That's pretty sharp.
We'll take a look at the other Goat Locker entry. Alex Drew sitting here in 9th place. Having himself a quiet race. If I know Alex, and I do, because we hired him as a driver, he's very patient, taking care of his equipment, and probably looking for that long run to move up through the field. JB, you're not going to believe this one.
Is Greg Sherman in the top 10?
I figured you would pick up on it pretty quickly, but Greg Swervin Sherman and that number 24 truck has moved his way up to the 10th position. So Greg having himself a heck of an evening here.
Nice job, Uncle Greggy.
A man of many names, some which we can say and Some we keep to ourselves. And we take a look back at that number 1 truck of Jordy Malcolm. Down 5 positions from where he started at, so hasn't quite got the feel for that truck in this track quite as of yet. So we'll have to see as the race continues on if he's able to battle back up there and figure out what's going on with his truck. Now we take a look at our 12th place truck of Anthony Radel in that 00. Up 1 position from where he started, so sitting back in the pack. Looks like he's got a little bit of right rear damage, so might have caught the wall at some point in time. May even gotten somebody into the back of him, so a little bit of damage there, so I'm sure he's looking forward to a pit stop here soon to get that truck fixed up and a new set of tires. Now back in 13th position, Matt Knighties in that number 64 truck, up 3 from where he started. My man Dave Jones in that White Castle truck. Makes me hungry every dang time.
Has Davey got the White Castle truck tonight?
He's got the White Castle truck.
He sure does.
And Jamie, the truck right behind him is a Pepsi truck.
Hey, what goes better with White Castle than Pepsi? They don't need to run into each other, but you know the whole, you remember the old Reese's commercials?
Oh yeah.
You got the chocolate in my peanut butter. Yeah.
So that's
Dave Jones out here.
And Brandon
Lane's getting ready to start getting busy. We just heard Cody McElwain make his call that he's going to be coming to pit road. I'm sure that's going to open the floodgates here. People are going to start coming.
Yeah, and as we were going back through the field, Scott Sanderson had taken over control of this race with the 2 JC Motorsports trucks still right on his tailgate. So a couple of lead changes here, but Eddie Smith looks like he's moving his way back up to the front as we are getting ready to see some green flag stops.
While we're waiting for those to start happening, we'll give a couple shout outs here. I see our newest member of Goat Locker Racing is lurking here on the stream. Give a shout out to our brother Ryan Pendleton. Glad to see you watching. Sorry you can't race. I believe he's out of town for work, so he'll be back in a couple weeks at Dover. So look forward to seeing you then. And Eric Cilio, I believe he's from, I hope I'm saying this right, Eric, Hustle House Racing. He's wanting to get into the next season of the Goat Locker Racing Truck Series, so I think we can make that happen, Eric.
Absolutely. It's Trevor McManus has now brought that number 9 truck down pit lane. Our leaders continue to lap around, but it looked like the Goat Locker boys had a plan. Both of those trucks pitting at the same time. So we'll have to see how the race strategy plays out for these front-running trucks. They are going to have to make 2 stops tonight, at least for fuel. So I'd have to imagine these front trucks are going to be coming sometime soon, because they're losing a lot of time on the track now with these older tires.
Yeah, Texas is, not quite as bad on tires as Atlanta is, but still, there's a drop off for sure, and you can't stay out there too long with these guys with fresh good years on there. So we'll see how long they go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Week in and week out, we talk about it because these guys get into these long green flag runs. We're up here scratching our head about what the exact pit strategy is going to be, as we have now completed 27 laps of the scheduled 67, so 40 laps to go here. And green flag pit stops have already begun, as we've seen 3 trucks come down pit lane already. The 2 Goat Locker entry trucks of Alex Cruz in the Gill Insurance Advisors truck, and Cody McElwain in the Jam Promotions truck. Trevor McManus, one of our early leaders in this race, who got into the wall a little bit, got some damage, has brought his truck down pit lane for his scheduled stop. So we're still waiting for the rest of the leaders to come down pit lane. Greg Sherman is now on pit road, so he has come down for his green flag stop.
Now, could be a question of whether Uncle Greggy's coming down to tank up the truck or tank up himself. So we'll have to see how that plays out here.
Well, just like anybody's good uncle, Uncle Greggy does have some personality quirks. One of them, just like anybody else's, he does have the drunk uncle part to him as well. And for anybody that's watching the broadcast right now, and hopefully that's at least 1,000 people, you'll have to give a big shout out to Greg Sherman for the picture he put in as his driver profile, which is a hug.
Wow.
Yep, that's Uncle Greggy for you right there. As our top 3 trucks have stayed out thus far, we are 30 laps complete here, so within a lap or two, we're going to hit halfway. So maybe some of these trucks are going to do 2 stops. Maybe some of these trucks are only going to do 1. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Well, I think the guys that pitted, when Cody and Alex came in earlier, they're definitely probably going to have to make 2 stops. With these leaders making it to almost halfway.
Rock Reich is now on pit lane. So maybe the leaders are just stretching it out here a little bit more, knowing that they've got a pretty significant lead. These 2 JC Motorsports entries, and of course the 93 is Scott Sanderson. So, but again, they pass up pit road, and we have now completed 32 laps. So I think they are definitely going to stretch this thing out to a 1 stop.
It's not going to be good news for those that have already made their stops then.
No, can't make up that amount of time on the track. I don't know that tires are going to be making that big of a difference.
No, not absolutely not.
So,
especially considering they haven't been able to unlap themselves in this run. They're still showing a lap down. So
as now Anthony Radel has come down pit road. So we'll have to continue to watch and see how these guys go. And maybe for some of those trucks that hit pit road early, they hit the fuel window right on the nose, and they could go to the end from where they stopped. And again, maybe some of our leaders are just going to cut this race in half. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, it's difficult for us not being able to really know without being in the truck how far they can really go. We've given a good estimate when we set the fuel limits and stuff, but sometimes it just doesn't shake out the way we planned it to work out. So we'll see. It's kind of created drama every week, so I guess it's probably better to not know.
It definitely has. Now we're going to have trucks out here on different tires, and our leader is coming down pit road this time by. And Jonah Colbert and Eddie Smith stay out. So this is going to be really, really interesting to see. Scott Sanderson had himself a decent little lead there. So as he comes down pit road to grab a new set of tires, you'd have to think that Jonah Colbert and Eddie Smith are going to come down next time by.
Oh, they have to. If they don't come to us next time, they're going to be losing ground to Scott Sanderson, and when this all cycles out. And they are making their way to pit road.
Yep, as those 2 JC Motorsport entries are both coming down.
Ooh,
getting in hot. Eddie Smith.
Trying to make up ground on his teammate. Close.
That was very close. These guys know with these green flag stops, you can gain time and you can lose time. And Eddie Smith was trying to get everything he could get right there, and almost got a little too much. It looks like Jonah Colbert misses his pit box by a little bit there, has to back up. So hopefully that doesn't cost him too much time. As Eddie Smith leaves well in front of Jonah Colbert, so him getting on pit road a little bit faster and Jonah missing his pit box there a little bit is what is making the difference right now.
And as they come off of pit road, Scott Sanderson has already passed them in the middle of 1 and 2, and Jonah Colbert is just now getting up onto the track. So that's a big difference from where he was running. But that's now going to turn the lead over to Cody McElwain in that number 6 truck.
Yes, he's got a 10-second lead over Scott Sanderson and those that took tires here as of recently. So, again, these drivers are going to put it on a show for us tonight, Jamie, with a different strategy and when they're coming to take tires. We are coming up to complete 38 laps completed, and no cautions. Great, hard, clean racing, and now we're starting to see a lot of the different strategies come out. We'll take a look at some of the pit stop links here. Just kind of see the different strategies some of our trucks are on. If you look at our top 3 trucks, they all pitted on lap either 22 or 23. So they've been out there for 14 or 15 laps now. While you have Scott Sanderson sitting back there in 4th place that is only on 3-lap tires, and Eddie Smith only on 2-lap tires. So you can see here on the bottom right of the screen, a lot of different strategy going on right now. And we'll have to see as it continues to play out, as we're going to come to 27 laps to go this next time by.
And so far, Scott Sanderson has not been able to make nearly as much time up on Cody as I expected him to, considering there's a big difference in their tires. We'll see. This this might have been the right call for the 6 truck.
I mean, if he could make it from here to the end of this race on fuel, that definitely might have been the call to make. But as these tires as these laps unwind, those tires are going to start to equalize. So Scott Sanderson can't make up the difference now. He's not going to be able to make it up 10 laps from now. He is still 9 seconds back of our leader. Each week, Jamie, I tell you, these drivers make us guess, make us second guess, and make us third guess ourselves about what's happening during the race.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. I was just really expecting to see Scott really, take big chunks of time out of Cody's lead, but, it's been a tenth here and there. So by the time he gets caught up to him, tires really should no longer be a factor, and it's really going to be a race to the finish, assuming Cody can make it to the end on fuel.
And I'd have to think, as they look at things that they had to have hit their fuel window, came in, got their tires early, tanked up, and tried to make up the difference on track by shortening it. You don't in races that aren't very long, and our races aren't exceptionally long races. I don't think you would plan on a 2-stop race unless you absolutely had to, JD.
Right.
As we continue to lap around here, 25 laps to go in the original Rebels Racing 100. Take a moment to kind of talk about some of our sponsors and send some thank yous out there, because just haven't had the cautions to do it. But the original Rebels Racing League is a phenomenal league here on iRacing, and they've been big supporters of us, and we've been big supporters of them. We have a lot of their drivers in here racing with us this evening. So to Matt, Logan, and all the guys over there, and Josh, big thank you to you all, and know that we're out here supporting you, and we appreciate it when you guys come out and race with us. To Jam Printing and Promotions, that number 6 truck looks really good in the lead here this evening. We appreciate all you do for us, and being one of the primary sponsors here at Goat Locker, along with Gill Insurance Advisors, Tracks for Vets, Travis Lee Creative, and G2G Trailers. And we've got new sponsors coming on board and new opportunities coming up in the broadcasting era. And then we're coming up on halfway in the season here in the Goat Locker Racing Series. We have Talladega next week, and I'll bring up the schedule here real quickly as we continue to stay under green. Cody McElwain comes back down onto pit lane, so definitely is a 2-stop strategy here.
There's our answer.
It is always interesting to see how some of this plays out. So has to bring that truck back down on pit lane. Going to grab himself some tires and fuel that thing back up and get back out there and see what him and his teammate Alex Cruz is going to be able to do. So again, as some of the teams looked at the race and looked at what was going on, made their strategies, and Goat Locker Racing went with this strategy. So we'll have to see where they end up this evening. Trevor McManus still laps around right now, so he's now going to be scored back up into the lead with Eddie Smith and Jonah Colbert being able to make their way around Scott Sanderson. So if this all, and those 3 trucks are still nose to tailgate right now, Jamie. Now Trevor McManus has brought his truck down pit lane. So that'll cycle it back around to those that did it about 15 laps ago or so. We'll see how this all plays out as we come down to the end of this race. So now we see 2 teammates up front of Eddie Smith and Jonah Colbert. Jonah Colbert's not going to be just sitting back in second place, so he takes that 88 truck up to the point. Eddie Smith falls back into line, and Scott Sanderson in that 93 truck falls back into 3rd place. Scott Rankin in that 49 entry now sitting back in 4th place, and Joe Yakes rounding out our top 5. They continue to, and we actually got to get the screen to the right screen there, so we got it back on the broadcast screen. So sorry for the little technical difficulty there, but as you see, our top 3 trucks are still running nose to tailgate. Jonah Colbert in the lead, Eddie Smith back in 2nd place, and Scott Sanderson sitting back there in 3rd. 3 trucks that have been up front pretty much all night long.
Yeah, they sure have. And, you know, Scott Rankin, he's sitting there, you know, 2.5 seconds back. He's not out of this as they've got 16 laps remaining in this original Rebels Racing 100.
As we now take a look at Cody McElwain, who is picking his way up through the field. But honestly, I think he'll probably be able to get up there and unlap himself as he has now scored the first truck 1 lap down. But I don't think that two-stop strategy is going to play out this season. The laps continue to wind down. Coming up to 15 to go here in the Goat Locker Racing Truck Series. Been a great race from the drop of the green flag all the way through green flag pit stops and differing strategies. As now we see Cody McElwain is pulled up behind Eddie Smith and is going to look to move past him pretty quickly so he can get up there and unlap himself.
Cody's definitely moving with those fresh tires.
He is definitely on a mission, for sure. And as Jonah Colbert will probably just give way, no need to battle at all. He just needs to focus on maintaining the lead of this race, and with 14 laps to go. We've had a few of the other trucks that have come down pit lane as well. So that really is going to leave us 9 trucks on the lead lap right now, Jamie. With Cody McElwain unlapping himself being the last truck on the lead lap.
Well, not sure what's happened to Greg Sherman. He is now gone a lap down and is falling. I guess he's making a pit stop.
As we take a look back at Greg Sherman there, I think he's been on a little bit different pit strategy. Still having himself a solid. Now, Cody McElwain has moved up into 8th position, but as these laps continue to wind down, it is going to be really difficult here for him to catch back up. He's really going to need to catch caution here and get caught up. As I hear the little music going in the background, so we must have a new subscriber.
Absolutely. It looks like I'm thinking Mike Browning is MB Motorsports.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, let's looks like he gave us a subscribe, so we appreciate it, Mike. Sorry you're not able to race tonight. I'm guessing work probably getting in the way.
Yeah, great to have you out here. We miss you on the track, Mike, and hopefully see you next week in Talladega. As these laps continue to wind down, we are coming up to 10 to go here in the original Rebels Racing 100, hosted by Goat Locker Racing in our truck series, and it has just been a phenomenal race, full of just great side-by-side racing. A lot of battles up front for the lead. Man, just a lot of different pit strategies. So you see our leaders put Anthony Radel a lap down here. They continue to run nose to tailgate. I'm not sure if Scott Sanderson is buying his time here a little bit, or Eddie Smith is, but I'd have to imagine when we get down to 2 or 3 laps to go, these 3 trucks are going to start mixing it up. And we go back and take a look at Jordy Malcolm sitting back in 6th place, having himself a solid evening. Brandon Wallace in that Pepsi truck, as we talked about a little bit earlier, sit back in 7th position, and he's got a mirror full of Cody McElwain. As you were talking about, Jamie, Cody has definitely put the gas pedal to that truck and is just carving his way up on the field.
And now we've got him 3 wide as Trevor McManus is trying to do the same as Cody and get himself unlapped here. I'm sure the leaders probably are not appreciating that very much, even though I know Trevor is trying to make up as much time as he possibly can.
He's trying to stay up out of the way, but you know the leaders.
Well, he ain't trying to stay out of the way. He's trying to get past him.
He is definitely gassing that truck up. He's made passes to the inside. He's made him to the outside, and now that he gets underneath Jonah Colbert, and Jonah's hoping that he clears him soon, because Eddie Smith and Scott Sanderson are coming quickly.
Yes.
So Trevor moving up through there, trying to get his lap back. And by all means, you've got to race hard. You don't know when that caution's going to come. Did it as best as he could to move up through there, and now these 3 trucks go back to battling each other. As we go back and look at that Jam Promotions truck, Cody McElwain has made his way up to 7th position. So I would say that the strategy has landed him basically where he was before he started it. We talked about him being in that 5th to 7th position, and that's where he is at this point in time. So a little different pit strategy there to try to make something happen. Doesn't look like it's going to hurt him too much here. So he's having a nice solid evening, but we'll keep focused on our top 3 here as the laps continue to wind down, and we're coming up to 5 to go, and I think the battle for the win of this race is about ready to start heating up.
Sure is. Looks like Scott Sanderson in 93 is putting a lot of pressure on Eddie Smith right now. He's looked to the inside and the outside, trying to see if he can make a move to get around that 25 truck. And Jonah Colbert's going to love seeing that. He will be completely happy to see these guys start fighting for that 2nd spot and let him get away a little bit.
Well,
coming to what?
4 laps.
3 laps.
4.
Okay. 4 laps to go to the line.
Yes, sir. And Scott Sanderson has got a hill to climb because those are 2 teammates sitting 1 and 2. So neither one of them are going to give way. And if I know Eddie Smith, he's going to fight for every inch in all that he can. Because if he can't get up there and win, I'm sure he's rooting for his teammate, Jonah Colbert, to go up there and take that 88 truck home to victory lane.
That's right.
But Scott Sanderson was just clear Eddie Smith. Had to hold my breath there for a second. So now Scott Sanderson is going to set his sights on Jonah Colbert. With 3 laps to go. He's got a little ground to make up, Jamie. I don't know if he can get there or not.
It's gonna be close. You know, Jonah's really ran an outstanding race to this point.
As Eddie goes and Ryan puts a little bit of a block on him. Oh, some tough racing back there. As Eddie gets a little bit of a run, tries to dive down to the inside. Scott Sanderson throws the block, and Eddie Smith has to gather it back up and try to get it back up there and challenge him once again. go back and focus in a little bit on that. We'll focus in on the 93 truck here. Is Jonah Colbert is now out to a 7/10 of a second lead, coming around to take the white flag here. So the race is going to be back here for second and third.
Yeah, we'll see if Eddie's got anything left in that 25 truck to make a run to retake second place before this is over or not. Looks like he's probably used up everything he had, but we'll see.
And I know that Jonah Colbert does not want to see that 89 truck in front of him right now. So hopefully that truck gets up out of his way and he can bring home the victory here tonight. As that truck moves up out of the way, and no pressure from behind. Scott Sanderson is not going to be able to get to the tailgate here. And Jonah Colbert is going to win the Original Rebels 100 here at Texas Motor Speedway, our third winner in the Goat Locker Racing Series.
Nice job, Jonah.
Hell of a job. Hell of a race, Jamie. Just a lot of great racing throughout the field. A lot of different pit strategies there. And from the drop of the green flag to the checker, all the way green. Can't ask for any more than that.
No. It was an incredible race, incredible finish. These guys did a really great job tonight, as they've done all the previous three races. So can't say enough about the races they've put on, and it's been awesome to watch.
Yeah, as we take a look here at the Jam Promotions number 6 truck, Cody McElwain on that different pit strategy brings that truck home in 7th place. The other Goat Locker entry of Alex Cruz brings that truck, that Gill Insurance Advisors number 5 truck, home in 10th place. So some different strategies playing out here, but great to see these trucks as the 2 JC Motorsports trucks are up here on the start-finish line, cutting some donuts, and well, that number 88 truck has definitely looked better. He is definitely taking a little bit of damage there. So we will head out and go grab our race winner, Jonah Colbert, and have a chat with him. Hey, Jonah, it's Pat and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, I'm not doing nearly as good as you winning that race here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, but it seemed all night long it was you and your teammate Eddie Smith and Scott Sanderson up there battling out for the lead. So take me through your race tonight, your pit strategy, and how you brought that number 88 truck home with the win.
We were splitting hairs on fuel, man. It came down to less than a gallon. We were saving in the first half of the race. I mean, it kind of worked out because we were saving tires in the process and just trying to stay in Scott's draft and use his draft as much as we could to our advantage. It ended up working out, and then from there it was just whoever made the slight mistake, on that final run. And I was the lucky one that able to get by Eddie, and I just held on to it. So.
Hey, Jonas, Jamie, man, great run tonight. Awesome race all around for everybody. I mean, 67 green flag laps. So what did you think about that setup? Because that really wasn't supposed to be what we used tonight, but that's actually a Texas Legacy setup. So tell me how that felt.
It felt pretty good. I don't think that's the one we were testing with, but it was nice and tight. The normal setup's a little bit more loose, and that's what we practice on. So we noticed coming in it was going to be more of a tire saving race once we started running our practice here in the server, and it felt a lot better. I actually liked it a lot. So it protects that right front, and that's what Texas is all about. It's all about turn 2 and making sure you don't burn that right front up. So I enjoyed it. That's my kind of race. So.
All right. Hey, congratulations again, man. Great win. Anybody you'd like to thank? Any shout outs, sponsors?
Just shout out to my teammate Eddie, man. We worked hard on trying to figure this out before the race, and it worked out in our favor. And appreciate you guys for putting on the broadcast. Y'all do a great job.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Jonah. Congratulations, brother.
Thanks.
All right. Well, great win by him. Definitely tell that those guys were working the draft and the team together. So, and that explains the fuel strategy to us there. So we learned something, Jamie. Let's grab Scott and bring him up into the booth. So, hey, Scott, Pat, and Jamie up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, heck of a race there this evening. Seemed that you, Jonah, and Eddie really were going back and forth and trading who was leading at what point in time, and there was definitely some different pit strategy that went on. So kind of take me through your race there a little bit and what your pit strategy was and how you brought that number 93 truck home in second place.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to only do a one-stop strategy there. That way I had an extra set of tires just in case late caution came out or something. I wouldn't be a sitting duck if somebody else had put tires on. And me and Eddie were talking. He let me go there in that first run, and I was trying to save tires on that second run a little bit, and wasn't quite sure if I could make it on fuel, just because I didn't know if I was going to be out by myself if used more fuel or anything like that. But yeah, it was a pretty good battle between Jonah and Eddie and I, like you said. And I let Jonah go, and I'm kicking myself in the butt for doing that.
Hey, Scott, it's Jamie. Great run, man. Congratulations on the second place finish. So you let Jonah go. I guess what would you make a different decision on that if you had to do it all over again?
Yeah, I'd race him a little harder, but I'd still let him go if he was causing me to burn my stuff up, because I was hoping they were going to burn their stuff up trying to get away from us, and it just didn't work out that way. So that's kind of what I was doing too. I was lifting pretty early going into one, and that was allowing them to get a good run on me. But I was able to get off a two better, but I wasn't burning up my tires as much. And Jonah and Eddie are pretty good here at Texas, it appears. And well, Eddie's been good a lot of places we've been going to. So just don't think we had the best car out there. So I mean, second place is pretty good in my book.
Yeah, it's a great run, man. Great run by everybody tonight. So congratulations again. Anybody you'd like to thank? Shout out sponsors.
I don't know what paint scheme's on my truck. I was in the process of building one last week when the room opened up, but usually I got a veteran-based scheme. So just shout out to all the veterans, current, past, present, all the whole 9 yards there, and thanks to everybody that's served.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate it. Appreciate you supporting us here at Go Locker Racing, man. Great run this evening. Congratulations on that second place finish, Scott.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yep. All right. Well, I know what's getting ready to happen here. We're getting ready to bring Eddie up in the booth. He's going to say something about fellers, which I'm not 100% sure what a feller is to this day. So let's grab Eddie. Let's let him call us some names, and then let's figure out how he brought it home in third place. Hey, Eddie, it's Pat and Jamie up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, fellers.
I told you. That's exactly what was going to happen. So, yeah. So my first question, Eddie, is why are you slumming it in third place right now?
I just got beat, man. It happens. It happens. When you're racing at about 80%, I didn't really practice for that.
Right.
And so we were pretty much saving the whole race. I don't feel like I was able to race hard at all, which was kind of a bummer. But it's fun strategy. It's fun to see it win. Towards the end, I just wasn't sure if we were going to make it. So the dagger in my race was letting Jonah by he's like, I'm going. And I thought, well, I don't know if I can make it. So had a good race with Scott there. It was really close and a lot of fun. So it went well.
Yeah, man. Still a great run, but definitely unusual to be talking to you finishing third. I figured you definitely rebound after last week and continue your wins here. But so yeah, I mean, what did you and Jonah? I mean, were you guys in constant communication about the fuel, or what was going on there?
Yeah, we had done a little practice beforehand, and then we saw that the fuel change happened, and we kind of went into panic mode. And we thought, I don't know if we can make it now, and so. Usually you start in a gas saving situation, you start to look at everybody else, and we noticed so many people dropping back and stuff. And we just went into full save mode, let Scott get by there towards the middle of that run to try to just save as much as we could. And we ended up getting to lap 35 with about 0.2 left.
Wow.
And once we got that far, we knew we were pretty good. So yeah, I mean, we were working together, just trying to. If one of us wins, we feel like that's a victory for both of us. So I'll take a third place any day if he can win one. So
absolutely, I know how you feel with that. So man, again, congratulations on the strong run. Congratulations both of you guys, man, finishing first and third. So anybody you'd like to thank? Shout out sponsors.
Man, just want to thank y'all for letting me race here. It's a lot of fun. Thanks Jonah Colbert for really us working together and doing a good job of somebody getting the win, and we both got on the podium. Whenever that can happen, we'll take it every time. So thanks to him. Good work.
Awesome, man.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on that third place finish there, feller. And we'll talk to you again, I'm sure, soon.
All right, guys. Be good.
All right. Take care. Wow, Jamie. Again, I mean, these guys do not disappoint. I think all these drivers have really exceeded our expectations when it comes to racing and the show they are putting on each and every week. And we heard from these drivers that the strategy is really playing out a little bit. And we threw them a curveball about 30 minutes before the race started and dropped the fuel down a little bit. So some guys decided it was going to be 2 stops, and some guys decided that they were going to really stretch the fuel there, and that ended up being the race-winning strategy.
Yeah, definitely kept us on our toes. It's almost like reading a book. You don't know how it's going to turn out. So, hats off to these guys. That's definitely tough. Hearing, he came to the pits on lap 35 with 0.2 gallons of gas. That's crazy to me. I don't know if I'd have had the nerve to stick it out that long. That that is just really cutting it close, because you could have just as easily ran out of gas before you got there, and they'd have been in a world of hurt with that. But hey, it worked out. Great finish by those guys, and can't wait to do it again next week. I mean, really, these guys keep me looking forward to this every Thursday.
Yeah, man, and we're taking a look at the finishing order here. Again, congratulations, Jonah Colbert and that number 88 truck on the win here this evening. Scott Sanderson finishing in second place. Eddie Smith, who we just talked to, finishing in third. So 2 of those JC Motorsports truck finishing in the top 3. Scott Rankin, great run this evening and finishing fourth. Last week's race winner, Joe Yakes, coming home in fifth. Jordy Malcolm, great run for him, finishing sixth. And then we kind of get down into the 2-stop guys, which was Cody McElwain coming home in seventh in that Jam Promotions truck. Trevor McManus, again, 2 stops there in that number 9 truck. Brandon Wallace, great run for him in that 89 truck. And then rounding out our top 10 is Alex Cruz in that number 5 Gill Insurance Advisors Goat Locker entry. So a lot of great racing here this evening. Great to see a lot of these guys out here. Greg Sherman coming home in 13th. Our man, Davy Jones, and that White Castle truck coming home in 14th. Brian Brogan, I don't think we really got a chance to call his number at all this evening. Great run for him this evening, coming home in 15th. And good to see Magic Mike out here. We do a lot of work with him and a lot of different series. So awesome to have him out here and see him bring that truck home in 17th position. So as we kind of close out the broadcast here for this evening, we'll bring up our schedule. And this, 4 races, 3 different winners. Can't complain about that whatsoever. And next week we head off to Talladega for some super speedway racing. And, Jamie, me and you just finished up a 4-week mini series that was all about the super speedways. And we went back and forth between the trucks and the cup cars and Daytona and Talladega. So, and these trucks build huge runs.
Yes, they do. They do. You really have to work the throttle to keep from running the truck in front of you over, but at the same time not lose momentum. It's very tricky, and some guys are really good at it. So hopefully we're going to get to see an entertaining race next week, with maybe a lot of green flag laps once again.
Yeah, and again, thanks to all our sponsors, Gill Insurance Advisors, Jam Promotions, G2G Trailers, Tracks for Vets, Travis Lee Creative, the original Rebels Racing League, who is a big supporter of ours, Intensity Broadcasting, who we've been talking with and hopefully be able to join up forces here shortly. So a lot of great support goes into this, and we exist for veterans by veterans. So thanks to all our veterans and active military guys, police officers, firefighters, and first responders for all you do. And if you know anybody that wants to be a part of our league and come out here and run 67 green flag laps with an 18 truck field, then bring them on out here and give them the invite. Check us out on Facebook at Goat Locker Racing. Definitely, subscribe on Twitch at Goat Locker Racing. You can see a lot of our videos up on YouTube as well. But thanks, everybody, and we will see you next week at Talladega.